We were having our coffee house this morning. Her name is Terry Comstock. She sent me an email message, and I thought that I would like to share this message with you. She is a dear friend to me, and I would just like to share her message with you. And this is what she says. For me, it is important during these times of staying home, to find more interior time for reflection, creative growth, and grounding. I feel we need to stand or find ground in our feminine self and not be as self-centeredness or losing yourself in others or the outer world, but by going down and in and finding your own genuine roots and coming from this place inside, using this time to take a compassionate look in the mirror and focusing on your essence and loving your whole self for all that you are. Taking more time for deeper conversation, more empathy, and genuine intimacy with ones you love and care about. Also reaching into the unexpressed areas of your heart and bringing out words or gestures that you have been holding back because you have been too busy or suppressed. I feel that all these things are important to help create an honest, nurturing ground for new growth coming from the inside that we can share with others. And that is from Terry Comstock. And next I would like to introduce Virginia Harper, whom we affectionately known as Ginny Harper. Ginny is a trusted colleague and friend of Russell's. She is the author of Controlling Crohn's Disease, The Natural Way, and an international teacher and counselor. She founded Key of Life Learning Center, a residential wellness clinic in Franklin, Tennessee, from 2004 to 2009, and then counseled and taught at the Shaw Wellness Clinic in southern Spain until 2014, before returning to her home in Tennessee. Today, Virginia is a sought-out speaker on the subject of natural healing for inflammatory bowel disease. Ginny is the founder and director of You Can Heal You One Meal at a Time. I personally have enjoyed Ginny's cooking classes and have always appreciated her dedication. Ginny, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. And because it's Mother's Day, I have the great pleasure of having my mother here with me in the office. So she's my biggest fan and motivator to continue my work from the very beginning. So I love this coffee house that you're doing. I think it brings people together at the time when we need to be socializing a different way. So thank you for this. As I thought about this subject, I couldn't help but go back to thinking of the days when I was ridden with my illness for 7 years, and I was constantly being told that I would not be able to have children. And being a Spanish woman, growing up in a Spanish household, that was very devastating for me. And it became a great goal and wish to be able to do this. And of course, adoption was always an answer. And but when I started looking outside what the medical box was offering me, which was very little to heal, is when my hope increased. And I think my life was redefined at that moment because I knew that I could be proactive in a situation that was not promising me much. And when I stepped out, and we have to conquer fear, we have to conquer doubt, and we have to grab onto hope when anything new presents in front of us that makes some kind of sense. And I think I grabbed onto that to make sense of what was going on with me at the time. And as I gave myself a chance in a year to really heal my physical body, it was amazing how my emotional and spiritual also changed. And I became and felt like a whole person. It was only then that I was blessed with actually becoming a mother. And I was able to give birth to 2 children who are now young adults. And I thought, okay, I'm good. My kind of, mission stops here. My dreams, I'm fulfilling my dreams. But my higher power, my God, had other plans for me, you can say. I was going to be a special ed teacher. And so I was down that path when I had people knocking on my door needing help. And so I found that my motherhood and nurturing part of my female energy was being pulled in different directions. And so I've been doing this 40 years now, and it's birth a mission, it's birth a program that is there to help people not be in pain and have answers. When I think of our children and what they mean to us, we're on borrowed time with them. They're spirits that come into our life for us to guide them and hopefully teach them and give them enough tools to go back into the world. That same feeling I find when I work with my clients. I'm only a stepping stone for them. I'm only a guide to help them carry out their dreams in their life that have been stifled by some health situations that have not allowed for that. And so I see myself as a stepping stone or a guide to help elevate humanity to have a better quality of life. Because really that's what it's about. When you think of as motherhood and protection of your own children, we can't protect them from everything because then they won't learn. We can only allow them safety barriers. We can only allow them those tools to learn that they can go so far and learn for themselves. And so I think as I work more and more with my program, I have find great satisfaction. And I know, Russell, this is true for you too, because we've spoken so many times about this, that the greatest appreciation that I get is when somebody gets it, functions on their own, creates a whole life for themselves, and disease is not part of it. And so the management of a quality of life becomes so much more important than the management of disease. And I think in the society we're living in today, we have to focus on that. What is the goodness? What is the silver lining that we can bring out of this experience that we're all in right now? This is worldwide. This is not just one person. When I was so ill, I felt isolated. I felt like it was only me. I felt like, I had to do a different program. I had to find different food. I had to find a different way of doing things. So the isolation was real. Now, with everybody experiencing what we're experiencing, it's very easy to get caught up in the depressive isolation. And my job, as I see it right now, as I go more on virtual teaching, is to lift people up and have them look at this as an opportunity to self-care in a different way. Not only physically, but let's look at family, how much families coming together, how much we're reaching out to our friends in a different way, and we're appreciating things at a different level. So I've had the great opportunity to be a daughter, a mother, and now a grandmother, which is a whole level in itself. And I think and I appreciate what Catherine said about her grandmother, because my grandmother was a big influence on my life. And I can remember in my teenage years, in my 20s, I can remember looking at her and saying, I want to be like her. I want to be like her. She was very nurturing. She was always embracing life. And I wanted to emulate that and to have that as my goal as I, age in years, but I also want to grab onto that wisdom that she instilled in us. And so to have those role models, to see what my mom went through to make it in a new country, that's the fortitude that I have inside of me. And I need to live up to that. So as a mother on Mother's Day, I really feel like, gosh, I have so much to appreciate, but so much to live for still, and so much to step up and be that beacon, that example, that light, and not be the foghorn or the depressive nature that people can take on. And so I see that as myself today. We have a beautiful day in Nashville. We have 70-degree weather we haven't seen in a while. And so we're very much going to embrace this day and celebrate motherhood in all aspects. Even if we have to all sit down in the yard and be social distance, we're going to be together somehow. So thank you so much for allowing me this time to speak and be part of your group. It's been a real privilege. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ginny. Thank you for being a beacon of light and sharing your very personal journey with us.
Megan,
Yes.
Ginny, can you introduce your mother to us? Can you show her?
Sure.
And tell us her name. We can all wave to her.
Okay. This is Norma. She's kind of in the light, so it's hard to see. Norma came to the States in 1963. We came to the States. She showed up in America with 3 small children to a land that she didn't know the language, and she left her family behind to with my dad begin this American dream in this new land. And so she not only had to learn a new language, but a new culture, and as a woman tried to survive in that. And so she's been through many changes herself, and she was one of my biggest supporters when I started my change of life. She would take time off work and come stay with me, take care of me through my illness, but also help me navigate this new cooking and this new way of eating we have started. And so I'm really blessed to have her here today by my side. And she only lives 4 minutes up the road, so we travel between back and forth between each other's houses. So thank you for letting me introduce her.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ginny. And nice to meet your mother. Oh boy, so it's my turn. And so I will just begin. And I will begin like this. And I am going to read because this is a letter that I wrote. And here I go. Hello, everyone. My name is Megan Moore, and I am daughter of Garth and Nancy Moore, mother of 2 more than wonderful sons, Brian and Evan, aunt to 25 nieces and nephews, great aunt and wife and long life friend and business partner of Russell Mariani. Have you ever decided to do something and then said, but how on earth am I going to do this? I have, in fact, many times. To begin with, it is often a scary and overwhelming process. And then once I'm in process, I'm okay. A rhythm develops and the project begins. There is a clear-sighted goal, but how I'm going to get there is a mystery that unfolds in the creation, which stumbles, stops, and gradually moves along. If it is a writing project, a lot of work happens in the background as I'm going about my daily activities and when I'm sleeping. My spark for this project came with the idea to share with you my vision and mission in life with a letter. So here I go. Dear Mom, In the early morning waking hours, when thoughts become clear and sure, I knew who I would write to. It became obvious. This letter is to you, Mom, and in the end, for me. For I see myself more so as I see myself more clearly, so others will see me more clearly, and perhaps I can be of some influence and offer some wisdom and guidance, and maybe even some humor. And so I dedicate this letter to my mother, Nancy Jane Seymour Borgie, born May 16th, 1923. For as long as I can remember, I've been a letter writer. Sadly, with the ease and directness of email and texting, I have not been writing many letters, but it is a pastime and art form that I do miss. As I look back on my life and see what I have created, I begin to see a thread, and from here I can capture a glimpse of who I am. And out of this, I began to see my personal vision and mission in life, because you see, I hadn't really thought about it too much before. I appreciate all of you giving me the space to share, and thank you for listening. This is what I've come up with. I'm going to begin with the end that I unraveled through my meandering journey and musings throughout this week. My vision is to nurture, to create beauty with the intention of bringing peace and inspiration into the minds and hearts of family and friends as they gaze upon a simple bouquet of flowers, a table laid for dinner, a single candlelight, and to gather people together in ritual and celebration. The way I have done this has been through the arts of cooking, gardening, and storytelling. As a grade school teacher, to the delight of my students, I brought these arts into the classroom. As a co-founder of the Center for Functional Nutrition, I have always brought creative collaboration into our workplace. It has always been important to me to work in collaboration with others. I love to gather family and friends in celebration and have done this over the years with birthdays, holidays, and many festive occasions in between. And this has been my devoted service. And now to the beginning. Mom, it has been a while since I have written a letter to you. However, over the years, there have been some evenings or mornings when I do just that. I sit with my journal and I write to you. I have a number of pictures of you on my desk, and so I look at these every day. As I write and as I ponder these pictures, I ask myself the same question. Your vision was always clear, and that was to be a mother of 7 children. And you quietly did the other things that mattered to you in life: needlepoint, knitting, reading, gathering flowers, and conversations with family members. Mom, the way I see it, you created the perfect life for yourself, and in that sense, you have become an inspiration for me. In the end, I believe that you had everything you wanted. How you managed the death of Garth, your childhood sweetheart and husband, was remarkable to me. But I believe that you were able to do this because of the love and loyalty of your children, grandchildren, and the simple pleasures that you cultivated. And I believe it was mostly living at Swarthmore Farm, which was your sanctuary. Mom, you and I were not close, but we shared a deep love of Swarthmore, nature, and natural beauty. Mom died on June 15, 2014, at Swarthmore Farm, down by the blue waters of Georgian Bay, surrounded by her family on Father's Day, in the middle of a sentence as she enjoyed her breakfast. On Sunday, I'm going to speak to my vision and mission in life. I have not thought too much. I have not given voice or pen to my vision and mission only in the context of our business. And I can hear you saying, Megan, we are meat and potatoes people, not people who aspire to anything else. I asked you once when we were in a troubled spot about Swarthmore Farm, Mom, what is your vision for Swarthmore? You looked at me in surprise and said, Megan, I don't know what you mean. I love it the way it is. And that was the end of the conversation. So how do I bring this all together for myself, explore, reflect, review, and give voice to my very own vision and mission in life? Wow, a big question. Are there things that I can actually own? The question when you were little is always, what do you want to be when you grow up? This morning as I lay in bed and my mind was full of my life and what I aspired to over the years. At one time, I wanted to be an architect and read Frank Lloyd Wright, an anthropologist, and read everything about Margaret Mead. I read all the women authors that I could get hold of, and at another time, I read all about the Queens of England. One of my favorite books was a book of interviews of perfectly ordinary people, women around the world who made a difference in people's lives through the service they offered. And this is what I actually did. Food, gardens, flower arranging, gathering people together in celebration, storytelling, dance and theater, managing a business and teaching for a number of years. Hiking and mountaintops all became the centerpiece of my life. All children have been the joy of my life. I truly love and appreciate the way they see the world. Everything is possible. And this is always appealing because here lies the vitality of the creative imagination and life. In the end, I suppose, I really wanted to be someone. I didn't really know how to do this. And I suppose, as I'm coming to a close here, that this reflection has been good for me because I have opened the window and the door. And today I can say that I have made a difference for a few people. And this makes all the difference for me. One more thing, Mom. It has been truly the best experience of my life to be the mother of our sons, Brian and Evan. They are my greatest legacy, and the journey that I have traveled with them from birth till now has been quite spectacular, breathtaking, and in every sense worthwhile. And Russell, we were the perfect match for these two young men. Thank you with all my heart. Always with love, your daughter, Megan. And that's what I would like to share with you today. And we would like to end by bringing a bit of music into our lives. So please join us with this song. And for those of us who would like to stay for a few minutes after for any comments or sharing, please do that. Russell, can you bring us on?
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Ginny, Madison, and Terry, everyone who shared this morning. I'm going to share my screen. Oh, could Brian and Evan just wave? Everybody, those are our boys, Brian and Evan, and that's Samantha Hodian. Say hi, Samantha. Okay. I'm going to share my screen and bring up a song from the cast of the Broadway musical, Beautiful. And if you stay to the end of the song, we even get a little cameo from Carole King. All right, so here we go. You'll all recognize the song. Meg, can you tell me that you can hear this, please?
Take 62. No, here we go. Please hold.
2, 3.
Everybody, Megan, just let me know that you can hear this. Ah.
Trouble and you need some love and care. friend. You got a friend. You got a friend. You got a friend. Do you got a friend?
No, you got a friend.
You got a friend.
No, you.
Do they got a friend? They got a friend.
You got a friend.
We've all got a friend.
Yes, indeed.
All right. That was awesome.
Yes. And as Catherine shared with us, we are all home, and home is the hearth place for us all. So thank you all for joining us. If anybody would like to, it's 11:10 and I want to be very sensitive to people's time. But if anybody has anything that they would like to say or share, please do that. And then everybody go and enjoy your day. Tom, Tracy, you'll have to unmute yourself, Tom.
I have a voice. I just want to thank everybody for their share today. It was really inspirational for me. My mom has passed away years ago as a result of Alzheimer's. And lately, I've just been getting her feeling of her being in the room with me around the last few days. So it's just wonderful hearing you all. And Russell, thank you so much for that great piece of music at the end. You don't hear a lot of stuff in the time signature of 12/8 to sound as good as that did, and put a smile on my face. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Megan, and really appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Anybody else, just put your hand up and unmute yourself. Carol, Patty.
I don't know if I can talk.
A little louder. Carol Patty from Brooklyn, New York.
I'm having a hard time speaking because I've been so moved by this morning and all the sharing and the music at the end. And I just, I can't tell you all how important this little meeting on Sunday mornings has been to me. And I love all the people that I'm connecting with through Megan and Russell. And I just want to thank them so much for being leaders in our community. And Megan, I love getting to know you more. It's been such an opportunity to get to know you and feel your heart. Oh my goodness, what a huge heart you have. And I was thinking when you were speaking about this farm, I don't think I know the farm very well, but I have a feeling you're going to do something big on that farm. It was just something that came to me. So anyway, thanks everyone, every one of you for sharing, and it's meant a lot.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Carol.
Thanks, Carol.
Martine Goldberg.
Hey, happy Mother's Day from Maine. First night in Maine.
Yeah.
And we hope to see you here. Happy Mother's Day to everybody here. I'm sorry we missed the beginning. I completely forgot. So I've been on Zoom all morning between Israel and, Canada and all that. So here I am. So happy Mother's Day. Beautiful words as always, Megan. We go a long way. So I've heard your writing before, and it's always an inspiration. So you have that soft touch in everything you do. So happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
Thank you. And I think, Pat Henry.
Hi, everybody. It's lovely to be here. And thank you, Russell and Megan and Brian and Evan and Samantha. Hi. You seem like close family members. I just had a quick mom story. My mom passed away in 2009. She made my wedding dress. I'll be married 39 years this year. And when I went to college, my mom had specially bought for me my senior ring from the high school she had gone to that I went to. And she never got one because her family couldn't afford it. And so when I went to college, I gave her that ring because she really appreciated it and enjoyed that. So I have gone through a big journey, and I pulled that wedding dress out because I've had that in the closet And I thought, well, maybe I should try it on now that I've lost some weight. And I looked at it, and attached to the sleeve was the ring. So I had a little message from Mom from beyond. She gave that back to me, and I had no idea until I tried to put that wedding dress back on. And I'm almost there. My waist isn't quite as small, but anyhow, I just thought I'd share that little story. I had a message from my mom, and I do hear her voice, and she's wonderful. She's obviously a big influence in my life. So I just wanted to share that quick story.
Well,
Thank you,
that was
Pat.
a good story. Thank you, Pat, and thank you so much, Catherine. I deeply appreciate you and the work that you do, and Ginny as well. You've come into our lives and from different places, and thank you for taking the time to share with us today. And thank you to Madison and Terry Comstock as well for adding a flower in the bouquet that we created. So Audrey, I can see you there. Welcome. This is Russell's sister, Audrey. And
Audrey.
thank you all. And as I said, go and have a wonderful, wonderful day today. We'll see you next
I have a
week.
little quick story about my mother. This is Lorraine. I know Catherine well. And when I was in my early 60s, I was widowed and I retired, and pretty much my world was just empty. And my mother said, now you got to make things happen in your life. You have to have courage. Nothing's going to happen unless you make a new life for yourself. And I thought that was wonderful. Here I was a grandmother, and my mother was telling me what I needed to hear. and then I'd call her back and I'd say, oh, I got this accomplished, or I figured out how to do that. And she said, I'm so proud of your courage. So she was mothering me when I was in my 60s, at a time when I really needed her, and I created a new life. And how sweet. She just passed the 16th of March. So I'm enjoying this first Mother's Day with her in spirit.
Thank you, Lorraine. That's a beautiful story. Really appreciate your sharing, and rest in peace to your mom, and to all of our moms who have passed, and to all of our moms who are still here. I would just like to give a shout out to my mother, Audrey's mother, Christopher's mother, and our brother Billy. Our mom, Betty Elizabeth Fulton Mariani, is 88 years young, and we'll be talking to her on the phone very soon. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Have a wonderful Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye. Ah.